Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about what kind of life do you want to create for yourself and what kind of life have you created for yourself. And yeah, let's see if we can find a way to bridge that gap of what you want versus what you have. So, there are a few key pieces to this. The first thing is the life that you have created for yourself, the life that you have right now, the life that you hopefully are in, like, loving, even if you want more, but whether you're loving or not, it doesn't matter. The life that you've created for yourself, one of the aspects that it depends on is what are you valuing? What do you value? What are your values? What do you care about? Now, I'm going to talk in terms of okay, so one way to address this thing, this is one of those things that I speak about a lot, is one of the things that one of the ways we filter our life through is the person we are is based on the traumas that we've had in our childhood. The first 7 years are the formative years of a child and all of that stuff, right? All of the modern psychology stuff goes to childhood. What I'm going to bring it to is not just childhood traumas that have shaped us right now, but our past lives as well. Our past lives, like gazillions of past lives that we've had, whether they are in the animal form or insect form or whatever, all the living species we work through and then we get human forms. So, whatever the other forms, we do not build all of these karmas and all of these things that define us, but the human form builds all of these, what we call trauma in the modern psychology that defines us. And we call those things anarthas. There could be traumas, there could be all kinds of things. I mean, fears based on traumas, but I mean, there could be things that we have developed because we've made choices that have made us, if we've made choices in a certain direction, we have created our nature to be in that certain direction. And if we've made choices in another direction, we have become that. Our inherent nature has changed to become that. So I'm going to say the word anarthas instead of traumas because I don't believe that all of who we are comes just from our childhood. I believe that it comes from our past lives as well. And anartha is just a word that encompasses everything. And the way anartha is spelled is Anartha. So all of our anarthas have shaped us to be what we value right now, to have the values that we have. That's one aspect, and I'll talk about the second aspect later. But so, what is the so let me give you an example. So I'm going to use the childhood example now because it's easier to understand. So if in our childhood we have grown up in an environment where we don't feel loved, where we've never felt loved, and we've just always felt like isolated and whatever. Then it's possible that our value right now is to build relationships. So we measure the success of our lives in how many relationships or how deep relationships. Some people will have many relationships. Some people will have one or two deeper relationships. Some people like there'll be all that kind of stuff. But the success of a person's life, you will be able to hear in the way they talk. They'll say, oh yeah, this was a good year because I made these many friends, or I made a really good friend, or something like that. You'll hear it in the words of the person what they value. You'll hear it in their body, you'll see it in their body language, you'll know it based on how they communicate with you. So that's one example. Another example could be if somebody was in a deeply poverty stricken place like Tony Robbins and Oprah Winfrey. We hear of those examples all the time, right? They were, just really, their parents were highly unsupportive. You'll never be successful, you'll never amount to anything. They like abused, all kinds of really bad situations that they went through, where families were highly unsupportive, and their value became at that time like that I am going to be financially successful, I'm going to be financially independent, and I'm going to make something of my life. and I'm going to help people as well, like because they were in such, so that became their value, and they focus their entire life on doing that. And you hear of many people like that, from what is the phrase? There is a phrase, rags to riches kind of thing. Um, so that might be your value. And so, whatever your values are that come from past lives or from childhood, or whatever, based on the environment that we have been around, based on the choices that we've made, based on all kinds of things, we shape our lives based on our values. So we can look at our lives and we can see what we have valued in our life based on where we are, what we have created in our life. Another thing that matters is identity. What do we believe ourselves to be? Do I believe that I am, so I might have internalized, so I'm going to use again the childhood example because the past life is more difficult to access, so I'm going to just use the childhood example. So if my in my childhood I have been told that I will never amount to anything, then have I internalized that? So even if my value is that I want financial independence, if my identity is that I cannot have it because I will not be able to have it because I've internalized what I've grown up hearing, that I will never be successful, then even if my value is financial independence, I will not be able to create it because my belief about myself, it's not just that I believe, it's that I am a person who cannot create financial independence because I've been told that and I've internalized that and I've believed that. So that is another aspect of it, identity. So for the first aspect, the values, Tony Robbins has this really good course called Date with Destiny. It's very expensive. It's around $5,000 to $6,000 or something for, I think, a 5-day course. I've done all of his courses, all of his basic courses, and it is amazing. And he has us go through this thing, like he has us list down what our current values are and rank them in order, and then he has us intentionally, and he has this process where he makes us really feel it. What is our value and what is our current value, so that we can write that down, and what do we want our value to be, so that we can change that, so we shift that. And it's like he does it, he's so intense, right? He'll have us go through that exercise over and over and over again, once more, and we'll be doing it, and then he'll be like, once more, and then we'll be doing it, and it's like, one last time we'll be doing it, one last time, one last time. How many last times? I don't know if he does the last time thing, but I think he does. Once more, he definitely does. Like you go once more, and then we think we're done. Like, okay, we've done this like 10 times, 15 times. No, once more. He puts his entire heart and soul into having us really feel that. So yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing exercise where you can then identify what do you want your values to be, and then you can work on your identity so that you can meet up to those values and make those happen. Because many times people will value security. He has the 6 human needs: certainty, variety, contribution, growth, love and connection, and what is the 6th one? Whatever. So security. Did I already say that? Anyways, so security is something that most people tend to value. Like, I want security. And when you value security, then it's very difficult. Above all, everything is ranked. So we all value all of them, but there's a ranking of what do we value the most. So if we value security the most, then we're going to take less risks, which means that we're going to have less variety in our lives, which means we're going to have less growth in our lives, because growth and security are kind of polar opposites. And we're going to have less love in our lives. So yeah, so he goes through in that thing, like, what do we value the most and what do we want to value the most, and he has these 6 things that we identify and we flip those around, and plus other value things as well, like, I mean, free flowing value items that are outside of these 6 things. Like, I value travel, or I value relation, love and connection is there in part of these 6, but whatever, I value spirituality and all of that things that might not be here. So yeah, so that is one exercise that we can do, to identify what do we want to value in our lives, what do we currently value in our lives, and what do we want to value in our lives. And then the second step would be, what do I need to be, who do I need to be in order to achieve this thing that I want to that I value, that I want to achieve, whatever it is, right? Yeah, and another little piece that I'm going to add, just as a side, it's not exactly a part of this, is that when we get into this state where we're afraid, like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. Every time we get into the state where I'm starting to feel that, like, very deeply, that we're going away from manifesting that. We're going away from actually creating that in our lives. So I put in a humongous amount of effort to not feel that fear, and for me, my go-to is prayer. But you might have whatever go-to you can have. But yes, shift yourself out of that fear and into this feeling of, like, yes, life is happening for me and things will work out and I'm okay and I will be okay. And when you do that, then you will be able to have the strength to actually take the action that is required to take in order to make that happen. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's it for this video. Wish you a day filled with clarity on what values you want, and strength, and whatever it is you need to have the identity to support those values and to create the life that you want based on the values that you want to have. Okay, wish you a beautiful day. Radhe Radhe.